People came here using what's called the snake path or the serpent path. If you go immediately down, there's a staircase. That's how they came up here. Once they came up here, they had to be checked where you're going, what are you doing here? Do you have a permit to go or not? Anyway, look, the whole thing was the guard's room, if you want. It was plastered. Usually plain plaster is called stucco, and they painted what's called fresco. Look at the line. Do you remember when we were in Corazin, I believe, there is like concrete, or like in the Gita there is a mortar, and if the stone is black, then the dividing line is white. In this case, look at the white limestone, and there's a black line that separates the original below from the reconstruction above. Is it where you want to wait for the people, Pastor?
Go ahead and shade you.
Okay, we are found here, and some people ask, how did they get all the rocks? Who can tell me?
Slaves?
Look around you and you know.
Yeah.
Huh? How did they get them up here?
How did they get them up here? Thank you. Huh? The rope. Okay, what else?
They're everywhere.
I say look around you and you know.
Cut them here.
Exactly. Look down here.
They're everywhere.
It's a quarry. And there's a reason for deciding where to quarry. It's right behind me there. That was the governor's office or the administration. And right here he lived. By quarrying here, they made it twice as difficult to take, because the enemy will come down and try to go up. In the meantime, the defenders can kill him. That's where he lived. And look at the wall here, where, look at the black man almost reaches the ground here. But look up there, where was it? It's higher, look. See, it's higher.
Where Tammy is.
For what?
Right here.
I said where Tammy is.
Oh, where Tammy is, yeah, that's it. So from here we keep going up. Take it side, and we are standing here, right? Because behind me over there is the pool that provided water to the rest of the complex here. It was divided into several parts according to the best Roman architecture of bathhouses. What do I mean? I mean it was divided in several parts. This one's called gymnasium. People that came in here, they had to do some exercises out here, and the whole floor was full of mosaic patterns, as you can see. Look. So, like these ones appearing here, then you came into the first room, which is that one. Look where I'm pointing. To that right door, it led you to the what is called apoditerium, changing room. That's where you got your towel, your robe, and then you would chat, sit down, and talk to the people there. So it was like social thing. In Europe, there are some houses also used like for like social contact among people. This is called the frigidarium, the cold room, in the far right. And in the middle, you know the room you lead your way through this door and come here. You will be in the tepidarium, the lukewarm water. And this is the most interesting one of them all. This is like the sauna of those days that was called caldarium. So, gymnasium, apoditerium, frigidarium, tepidarium, caldarium. And usually the plural is gymnasia, apoditeria, so you know that, Latin. All the roofs of these are flat except for this one, for the caldarium. Why? Because in the steaming process, the steam room was here. And in that room, it is on the left-hand side down. You would see short columns coming out of the ground in order to hold an upper floor. So that room had two floors, the original lower one and the upper one held by those short pillars. The steam would lead its way in between the two floors, and then through openings at the wall, the steam would come into this room so as not to dance and drop on the heads of the people bathing. It was made like that so that it could circulate. If you wanted more water, hot water, there was a hot tub here and a cold tub on the other side. And if you wanted more water, you could take from the hot tub. If you wanted more steam, you could take from the cold water tub and pour on the already upper warm floor, and then you had more steam coming, like steam ironing today. And then you will come out this way. Lead the way, please, in here. The other side of it, there is a room that where those shards with the names of those last people that remain alive is. None of them is one color, and the only different color is the tenth, probably the leader of the Zealots or the Sicarii or the Jewish resistance group that stayed alive. So that is what helps them say this is the Lot's room. You can go inside, take a picture of those, and come back and sit with me. We are heard that Colombo in Italian is a pigeon, so these are pigeonholes. What were the pigeons used for? Some people say carrier pigeons, others say sacrificial. Today the prevalent theory says no, it's neither this nor that. It is that when the Roman soldiers passed and they were cremated, the ashes were put in these holes. So that's, but still the name is here, columbarium. So we are going now, we are very close to the ramp where the Romans made their way up to breach the wall. Immediately below, that is the highest place now of the ramp. You might say, well, how were they able to reach? Remember that you are talking about almost 2,000 years ago. Within those 2,000 years, the whole thing could have eroded, and the ramp looks deeper than it was.
No, but it's not enough for everyone, probably.
That's not knows what he's doing. Bringing an umbrella.
It is in here, we believe this was the synagogue, and that is where the Zealots had their last meeting, and they decided to kill themselves. But how do we know that it's a synagogue? Because when they came in, first of all, there is nothing which is Christian. That means no baptistry, no altar. So this was synagogue, and it's considered by scholars to be the oldest on earth after the temple in Jerusalem was destroyed. The temple was destroyed in the year 70. This was destroyed in the year 73. In other words, it kept on working like 3 more years after the destruction of the Jewish symbol, which is the temple. And not only that, but do you see that wall, facing you inside? There's a room there, and sometimes there is a scribe that writes something from the Bible. And pieces of all the books of the Bible were found, and the most amazing one is the one called the vision of the valley of the dry bones, Ezekiel 37. But pieces from Psalms and Genesis were also found in there. Thank you very much. The outer wall was built according to scholars to strengthen the inner one, because the mountain top here is narrow, and the lowest level is that's where we are. You see, we just came from here. That's where those people are sitting, and say the water gate. Look at the trail going down. Do you see it? They would come to these holes. You see what these holes are? The cisterns that are at the side. So when it doesn't rain here, what did Herod the Great do? He built these aqueducts from those mountains. Those are the mountains of Hebron, where it really rains a lot. And within a couple of hours of heavy rain, these cisterns, all of them would fill with water. How? Look, no matter where the water falls, look, watch the water flowing in. See? Look. So it goes only to where the troughs are. Look, within a few minutes, the whole thing would be filled with water. See that? This is how Herod the Great got water to fill his cisterns to be used by the people that stayed here. Because you cannot really build something, like in the case of Caesarea, I told you already, that he built that aqueduct, and we stood next to it, right? From 8 miles away. Here, it's not a matter of miles, maybe like 2 or 3 miles away, right? But this is the Herodian, that means time of peace. When the Romans came in here, first thing they wanted to do is what? Destroy these aqueducts. In order to deprive these zealots that remained here without water, they could die of thirst. But they had a cistern that I just showed you here. They had another cistern on the other side when you left the cable car that they dug down. Yeah. Okay.